My husband woke up from a coma and didn't remember me. I always thought the worst thing that could happen in a marriage was losing your spouse, but I was wrong. The worst thing isn't losing them. It's having them right in front of you and realizing they're already gone. My husband and I have been together for 10 years, married for 6. Our love wasn't perfect, but it was real. We built a life together. Inside jokes, late night talks, lazy Sunday mornings, all the little moments made us us. And then, one night in the blink of an eye, it was all taken away. It was a car accident. I got the call at 2:14 a.m. I remember staring at the phone, half asleep, thinking it was him calling to say he was on his way home. But it wasn't him. It was the hospital. When I got there, I was met with words I barely understood. Traumatic brain injury, swelling, medically induced coma. The doctor's mouth kept moving, but I couldn't process a thing. All I knew was that my husband was hooked up to machines and there was nothing I could do but wait. And so I did. For 6 months, I sat by his side. I talked to him. I held his hand. I read his favorite books out loud. I told him over and over again how much I loved him, how much I needed him to come back to me. And eventually he woke up. And it had to have been one of the greatest days of my life. Shortly after, it was one of the worst days of my life. He wasn't him anymore. When Elijah finally opened his eyes, I sobbed with relief. I kissed his hands, his forehead, whispering, "Baby, I'm here. I never left." But then I saw the confusion in his eyes. He looked past me, then around the room like he was searching for something, someone. And then he said it. "Who are you?" I felt my heart stop. I let out a shaky laugh, assuming he was just groggy, disoriented, very funny. I said, "It's me, baby. It's your wife." His brows furrowed. He pulled his hands away. I don't know you." I tried to stay calm. The doctors had warned me about memory loss, but I told myself it would be temporary, that it would come back in pieces. But weeks passed, then months, and still I was a stranger to him. I showed him photos, our wedding, our home, our vacations, nothing. I told him our love story. The way he proposed, the way we danced in the kitchen, the way he used to call me his forever, nothing. He was polite, kind even, but he looked at me the way you look at someone you just met. And then one day he asked the question that shattered me completely. Was I in love with you? I felt like the air had been knocked out of my lungs. I forced a smile, even as my vision blurred with tears. "Yes," I whispered, "so much." He stared at me for a long time, and then softly he asked, "Then why don't I feel it?" I didn't have an answer, because the truth was, I felt it enough for the both of us. But love doesn't work like that. You can't force someone to remember. You can't make them feel something that's no longer there. So I braced myself for the inevitable. I prepared for the moment he'd ask for a divorce. I practiced what I'd say, how I'd keep it together. I reminded myself over and over again that if he wanted to leave, I'd let him. But that moment never came because Elijah stayed. 7 months have passed since he woke up. 7 months of him looking at me like a stranger. 7 months of trying to rebuild a love story he doesn't remember. But something is shifting. It's in the little things. The way he lingers in the doorway when I'm cooking. The way he asks me questions about our life before. The way his fingers graze mine just a little longer than before. And then there are the nights. At first, we slept in separate rooms. It was just too much too soon. But last week, he asked if he could stay. Just until I fall asleep, he said. He never left. He hasn't told me he loves me. Not yet. But the way he looks at me now, there's something there. Curiosity, maybe even hope. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he'll ever love me the way he once did. But for now, he's still here, and that's enough. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know what I'd do if my husband ever didn't remember me. Those were wild. Very wild stories. What y'all doing? I want to hear y'all's opinions. Tell which one was your favorite story? Which one did you need some more context on? Which one did you need to know what happened? Were there fist fights? No, obviously they got up and left dinner. Okay? Like what's going on? I be wanting to know the end of the story. How did it all play out? Like 3 years from now, did this affect y'all's relationship? Yeah, we need to know. All right. I'll see y'all next story time. Bye.